Just go ahead and get started. Let's see. I'm still kind of taking attendance. So again, to reiterate. Let me do these guys first. Hang on. Okay. So we are doing online asynchronous. I don't want you guys to stress about attendance grade. Just get your attendance credit on a day to day. It doesn't affect your grade directly. I'm taking attendance just for record keeping. Because generally, what happens sometimes administrators come looking for students, and we have to report the last time we saw or we engaged that student. So I use it more so for record keeping, and it only becomes an issue. Let's see, Judge. It only becomes an issue when we rack up about 3 unexcused absences. Oh, every time I go to click it, it like jumps. 'Cause we got a packed house. Let me see if I can pull this thing up. Can I just click on this? Okay. Still taking attendance. Like again, we got a packed house. I was trying to do announcements as I let people in, but I'm designed to do one thing at a time. I can't. I struggle with the multitask. I'm not like everybody else. I have to do my own thing. I know I do way better when I focus on one thing at a time. He might have a friend. That's okay. I'm not gonna worry about it. He may have got knocked off. Okay, I think I'll let these guys in. Okay, so um, pertinent information. Oh man. Okay, so pertinent information. Um, this is the end of week 3, right? So I did go ahead and create. I created. Can you guys hear me? Okay. Ali Oxenfree. Hello, hello. Okay. Uh, G. Okay. So I did go ahead and create your exam, but it won't be available until a week from today. So exam 1, it'll be on Pearson. I went on and loaded all the quizzes for the semester, so I don't intend to load any more quizzes or homework. So you have access to everything. Honestly, I have a copy of my full lecture recordings from the spring, so you can actually get ahead. If you want to get ahead and complete all those assignments on Pearson, that's my recommendation. Just knock it out. And so then from here on, the only thing you're going to be looking for are the exams, right? So once you finish all the stuff that's on Pearson, you can be done like super early and then just kind of be waiting for the exams. Check in each day to get your attendance credit. That's what I would do. If I were you guys, that's what I would do. I never had an opportunity like that, but that's what I would do. Get ahead. But not to spend too much time on harping those issues. Again, we're going to be on the lookout for exam 1 to become available next Wednesday, like at midnight, something like that. I think that's the time that I set, and it'll be available until the following Monday at 9 a.m. After that Monday at 9 a.m., you can still work on it with unlimited attempts, but there's a 10% late penalty, right? So the highest you can get after Monday at 9 a.m. is a 90, which is still an A minus, right? If you get a perfect score, you get an A minus. I will go ahead and warn you. There is a little bit of caveat with the exam. Do I want to warn you? Yeah, I'll give you a heads up. I don't mind. So the warning is, even though you get unlimited attempts, it should be a different exam each time you take it, right? So you kind of need to know what you're talking about when you go into it. And again, you can take it as many times as you're comfortable with until you get whatever score you want. But all the topics are going to be basically from the first 3 sections, but it should be a different exam each time you take it. So my recommendation, go through the homework, take good notes, be organized. This is a game of organization. So that way, you know, at least the way it's set up right now, when you're on the exam, you're like, oh, wait a minute, I did that question. Let me flip to my notes, and you have it already you have a copy of the original question, you have all your supporting work, and you have your final answer in a box. The more consistently you can do that, the better off you'll be. I would encourage you to link up with the tutors. Hopefully, I know at one point a lot of my classes had like group meets going, so hopefully you guys got that going. Uh, and I think I'm going to go ahead and suppress the audio just so I can focus. And if you guys have questions, let me let the student in right here. If you have any questions, feel free to either type in the chat or raise your hand. And so what I'm going to do for the morning session, I'm just going to kind of continue working through the homework like I did on Monday. I'm going to move into section 1.2. If you watch my recordings from this afternoon, my intent is to go ahead and move forward with the lectures. So I want to do section 1.5. That's going to be later. That's just for your records. My recommendation is just to watch those things at your leisure. Um, you don't have to keep up with me, but you definitely want to keep up with the rhythm and the syllabus. So, for instance, since this is like this is week three. You're right up until this point. You're really only responsible for the first three sections: 1.1, 1.2, and 1.3. I've already done the lecture for 1.4. It's just on file. And this afternoon, I want to go ahead and do the lecture for 1.5. Let me let the student in. Cool beans. Okay. So again, if you have questions, just feel free to type it in the chat. Else, I'm gonna hop over. I'm gonna go ahead and hop over to Pearson, and I just want to kind of continue. This is section 1.2, right? So these are some of the questions that you can anticipate on the exam. When you work in the quizzes should be short. They're like 5 questions. Again, unlimited attempts. I think I gave you an extension on the first couple of quizzes because I loaded them late. So you have a couple of weeks on these. But then once we get caught up, then you pretty much have a week to do these. But again, you just want to get ahead. So let's look at this one. This is question 1 from section 1.2. It says find the slope of the line that passes through the pair of points, or state that the slope is undefined. Slope of the line, right? So I'm not going to write this one out. I feel like you can handle this one. This is going to be the slope intercept, the slope formula, which is the change in y over change in x. So that's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. I'm just going to do it quickly here. If you need me to write it out, just get my attention, put it in the chat or something like that, and I'll write out the details. But if I say y2 minus y1, that's going to be 5 minus 1, which is a 4 on top. And then the bottom is going to be 4 minus a negative 4. So 4 minus negative 4, give me just a moment. He's already been in, okay. 4 minus negative 4 is double negative is positive, so that's an 8, right? But we need to simplify this. So if we have 4 over 8, that reduces down to 1 over 2. So I'm just going to put 1 over 2, right? Again, if you need me to write that out, just let me know, and I'll write out those details. But all I did was use the slope formula. I've done this one a couple of times. Okay, so now notice we got a positive slope, right? It asks us to indicate whether the line through the points rises, falls, or is horizontal or is vertical. So notice we got a positive slope. So what that means is as we trace the graph left to right, the graph is going to go up, right? So the line is going to rise as we trace it left to right. It's going to rise because we have a positive slope, okay? I chose that. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to hit enter again. That was it, right? Let's see. The chat looks good. We're going to keep it moving again. This is asynchronous, so you're not obligated to stay, but if you're here, that's my recommendation. If what I'm saying is intense. So if my energy is like too unbearable, which happens often for students, my recommendation, still stay online, try to keep an ear and try to listen, but just go ahead and work on your own homework so you can be done with it. So if what I'm doing is intense, like as long as you're doing something math related right now, I think that's the best move, right? You got your attendance credit, the rest of it, I'm treating you like an adult and I leave it up to you, and I'm just available for support. I just try to, be cognizant of the time and be available. Let's look at this one. We're asked to find the slope of the line through the points, and then, so basically a repeat, right? Okay. So if we say y2, so the y2 minus y1, a number minus itself is 0. And then on bottom, we're going to have what? 1 minus 5 is negative 4. So real quick, in the chat, you can put your response. If I put 0 divided by negative 4, what does this simplify down to, right? In the chat, can you put in the chat what the answer is? There's one correct answer, but there's 2 answers that I'm anticipating students to say, right? So I kind of want to write this one out, but I'm not going to do it now. So 0 divided by some number, I'm going to do it, I'll write that out a little bit later, but 0 divided by a number that's going to be equal to 0, right? There's a short way to remember that. There's a funky way to remember that, but I'm just not going to write it. I'll put it down next time I'm writing out something like this. I'm just not going to do it right now. But this one should be 0, right? 0 divided by a number should be 0. I'll show you how to remember that momentarily. So now, if the slope is 0, that means we have no rise and infinite run, so we have a horizontal line. All right, so the line is going to be horizontal. So whenever your slope is 0, we're talking about a horizontal line. Okay. Let me see the chat. I think the chat is okay. I got somebody to answer. Okay, let's see. Find the slope of the line if it exists, right? So slope, you can use a slope formula. You can take these ordered pairs. Okay, I'll write this one out since this one looks a little bit. And I'm gonna kind of piggyback off the image that's showing. I'm not gonna pull a copy of the image. I'm just gonna take some notes. Okay, give me just a moment to get set up on my tablet. I'm gonna go ahead and suppress the attendance, which looks good. Proud of you guys. Like that's honestly the hardest part with like at least college is just showing up. Against all odds, just show up, right? At least, at a minimum. And a lot of times just showing up will fix a lot of stuff and just talk. Communication is like a lot of it. And a lot of times you'll find that it's all mental. It's not as bad as what you think it is. Like if you actually communicate with your professors and like make a genuine effort, a lot of times your professors are gonna like go out of their way to take care of you. And if they don't, I generally do. Like I can't speak for other professors, but I generally do. Let me get this student. Hopefully I can do this without causing any delay. Oh, these are guys I got already. Right here, boom, looking good. Okay, I'm gonna let them in. No biggie. Okay, so this is question number 3, right, from this section. This comes from section 1.2, and it's question number 5. So in this kind of towards the top of the screen, near the center, where you see that 1.2.5, that's the question ID. That tells us where in the book it's coming from. So if you were to like break open a physical hard copy book and you went to section 1.2 and you went to question number 5, this will be the exact same thing. This is just a digital version of that question, right? So we have this graph. All I need from the graph are these ordered pairs. So first I'm going to start with the upper left one. The x value on the upper left point looks like a 0. I'm just writing the ordered pairs. And the y value is a 1, right? The second x value looks like it's a 4. And the corresponding y value looks like it's a -3, right? So I just wrote down the ordered pairs. We're asked to find the slope. So now I'm going to hop over to the tablet. And let's hop over to the tablet for the people at home or on YouTube. So these are the notes that I took, right? These are the 2 ordered pairs that I saw. And as long as I got this correct, we should be good. If I wrote these down wrong, then we're going to be doomed, right? So basically, we're finding the slope. Again, I'm a fan. I like to go automatically x1, y1, x2, y2, right? Let me mention this other thing. As you make your way through the homework, my recommendation as far as the order of protocol or whatever, do what you can on your own with your own research and your own efforts. That's the first line of defense. Once you've done what you can on your own, then the second line of defense, I would link up with my classmates because you guys are here kind of experiencing the same thing, hearing something similar for the most part. So that would be my second line of defense to my classmates. Once you and your classmates have done what you can, the third line of defense, I would hit up like the tutors. I would use like the tutors and things like that. And then once all of those have, once you've exhausted those routes, because that's like the most effective in my opinion. Once those don't work, that's when I would make use of the Ask My Instructor tool on Pearson. And I mean, you can come straight to me, but a lot of times when students come to me first without having thought about it, when I present it, they're overwhelmed. Versus, they've thought about it, they've consulted their classmates, they consulted the tutor. Then when I give the exact same presentation, it's oftentimes much much it's oftentimes received much more amicably. That's about the best way I can articulate that. So I do want to encourage you to make use of the Ask My Instructor. If I had a few students using it, it's been pretty good. I enjoy it if they don't. So here, if we're finding the slope, so the slope formula, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Again, this is slope, right? So then let's plug in our components. We got this -3 minus 1 over 4 minus 0. Okay. -3 minus 1 is -4. 4 minus 0 is 4. So then that result ends up being, what is that? -1, right? So we got a slope of -1. Those are all the notes that I needed to take. So I'm going to hop back over to Pearson. I think it's like this. All right, so we got a slope of -1. I'm going to type that in. Let me make sure my people on YouTube can see. So we got a slope of -1. I'm going to hit enter. Okay. And then, are there any other questions? That was it? Oh, I feel like they gypped this. Let me box this answer. Give me just a moment. All right, that looks good. Box. That's fine. Style. Like this. All right. So find an equation in slope intercept form of the line. Okay, equation of the line that passes through that slope. Sorry, passes through the point and has that slope. And then sketch the graph. Okay, so let me take some notes, and I need to write some things. Again, this is question number 4. The question ID is 1.2.9, so this comes from section 1.2, question number 9. Let's see. Just a brief note is going to be find the equation of a line, or I'm going to say find the line. Okay, that passes through. I'm going to say find the line through. We got 0, 7. And then has a slope of 4 by 5. Okay. I'm going to hop back over to the tablet. I don't even know how that happens. Like this. Make sure it's showing. Looking good. We actually got a rhythm, a flow. Rhythm and flow. Terrence Howard part 2. The professor is in the house, all right? You got hustle and flow, now it's rhythm and flow. And Terrence Howard is now hustling like the academic game, trying to get in. I'm just being silly and old. Okay, find the line through this point with this given slope, right? Let's see, we got a point. Oh, now notice that our x value is 0. So if x is 0, that means this is our y-intercept. So they actually gave us B. They gave us the y-intercept off the rip, right? So we have the slope and the y-intercept, so we can keep it simple. We can just go y equals mx plus b, right? And just plug in the slope and the y-intercept. So we're going to have y equals 4 by 5 x plus 7. We got lucky with that one because they gave us the y-intercept. Now, I haven't really stressed this up until this point, but whenever possible, you definitely want to check, right? This is something that we can check. We have it in the form of slope intercept. You know it has a slope 4 by 5, and then it's clear that when x is 0, y is 7, right? So just whenever possible, you want to check. I'm going to hop back over to Pearson and submit this in Pearson. Like here, I think it is. Okay. So the equation of the line is 4 by 5x plus 7. So 4 by 5x plus 7. Now, honestly, if I found a way to like do what I'm doing now, but it paid me enough, that's the mark. Because I really enjoy this stuff. And it's like I want to go deeper, but I waste a lot of time like just trying to survive, bringing buddy and eat and have a place to live and stuff like that. But yeah, if I found a way to, and it's totally possible. Like people have done way more with way less. So we're asked to graph the line. I'm gonna click on this point right here, right? Because we want to graph a line. So to graph a line, we only need two distinct points on the line. So we got a y-intercept of 7. So we're gonna put that first point at 0, 7. Then we use the slope to get to the second point, right? So our slope is 4 by 5, positive 4 by 5. So that means if we go up 4 and right 5, we're good to go. So if we go up 4, we're going to be at 11 and right 5. So we need to point 5 comma 11 right there. Boom. 5, 11. That looks good. I'm going to hit save, cross our fingers, and let's cancel, check the answer. Awesome sauce. Let me check the chat real quick. I'm assuming you guys are okay. Okay. This is being live streamed on my YouTube, so feel free to always pull it up later. Go back. You can change the speed. You can slow it down, speed it up. Find the equation of slope. Now this was a little bit more challenging because they didn't give us the y-intercept. So let's give this one a go. Let me start by taking some notes. All right. This is question number 5. Let me see the time. This is question number 5. This comes from section 1.2, question number 11. I'm just going to copy what I had from before. Find the line through. So I'm going to just copy. I'm going to paste. Okay. Find the line through. We got the point 2, 1, and having a slope of -7/2. Yeah, honestly, just you guys just being in attendance and like actually hanging around, it actually makes things better. Like I don't know if you're aware, because like what I've experienced in the past, I took the notes that I want, and I knew that like we were still working out a bunch of kinks and stuff like that. But like if I pitch, hey, you guys don't have to stay, and then students get their attendance, and then they all dip, I'm like, so I stopped doing anything. I just collected the check. I was just available, and I mean, I was just available, but I stopped talking about this stuff because I felt like nobody was listening. But I was like, it's okay, but it's totally okay. And surprisingly, I mean, they got their stuff in, so I was like, okay. So I didn't really make a big deal about it. But because I feel like you guys are listening, whether you are or not, because I think that you are, that actually makes a big difference. Okay, so we want to find a line through here. It's just a game, right? Just play the game. Just play the game. Okay, and there are certain rules or whatever. But anyway, don't worry about that. So we want the line, right? We got a slope and a point. Now we could use point slope, and there's nothing wrong with it. But again, I'm just a fan of slope intercept, so I'm gonna do the slope intercept just because I feel like it's more simple. So the slope intercept is y equals mx plus b. If anybody wants to see a showcase of the point slope, just let me know and we can walk through that. Now we're given a point, so I'm going to plug in what's given. We were given that y is 1, the slope is -7/2, x is 2, and we don't know the y-intercept, right? That's the only thing we don't know, right? So then now we just use arithmetic or algebra to solve for b. Notice here, you got a 2 on top. When you multiply these fractions, this 2 is going to cancel this 2. All right, they're going to cancel each other. So then what that leaves us with, we're going to have 1 equals -7 plus b. Let me just be consistent, right? So the inverse operation, if we want to move that 7 to the other side, the inverse operation of negative or minus is going to be basically +7. So we use the inverse operation to move that over to the other side. Okay. So a number plus its opposite, these add to 0. We finished with 8 equals b, and I'm just a fan of writing it like, let me do this just to be consistent, style. I'm just a fan of writing the final thing like this, b equals 8, right? I just switched it around. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. Yeah, with all of these, it should get to a point where it should make sense. Like when you get results and you kind of think about it, you always want to ask yourself, does this make sense? Am I getting something that's reasonable, or am I getting something that's kind of outrageous? Oh wait, that's just the y-intercept. That's not the end. Okay, so that's the y-intercept. Let me highlight that at least so it jumps off the page. Okay, so if we want the equation of the line, then our line is going to be y equals the slope, which is this -7/2x plus 8, right? So we need to try to confirm that this equation satisfies our initial conditions, right? We need to show that it satisfies. So we need to verify that the point 2, 1 is a point on this line. If we plug in 2, the output should be 1, right? So notice, if we said the 2 here is going to cancel this 2, and then -7 plus 8 is indeed 1. And we've already verified the slope. So I'm confident in this result. We're going to hop back over to Pearson. Another screen would be nice. I'll do that later. Given, so we get -7/2x plus 8, -7/2x plus 8. I'm gonna hit enter, looking good. Okay. So then the graph, I'm going to click on this tool here. Let me see the time. Okay. And again, we're doing a line because that's what this whole discussion is about. So we're just going to hit a line. Let's see the y-intercept. We got a y-intercept of 8. So our first point we're going to put at 0, 8. And then the slope tells us how to get to the second point. So since it's a -7/2, that means we go down 7. So that's going to put us at a 1. And then right 2. We generally go to the right. And then the negative tells us whether to go up or down. I think this looks good. So that point should be 2, 1. Yeah. I'm going to hit save. I'm going to check the result. right? So to graph a line, we need two distinct points. And usually the slope intercept form is the easiest way to graph a line because it gives you the y-intercept, which tells you where to start, and then the slope tells you how to get to a second point. Okay. Use the given conditions to find the equation in slope intercept form of a line that is vertical. Let me see. X is if the line is vertical, right? It passing through. Okay. So these are intercepts, right? I was kind of hoping I can do this one quick. 7 minus 0, 7. 0 minus negative 7 is 7. So the slope is 1. And the y-intercept is 7. I think I got this one. So I just kind of did the slope in my head. Y equals x plus 7. They gave us the y-intercept. I'm going to go with this. Right. Let me know if I need to show those details. If not, I'm gonna keep moving. Let me check the chat real quick. Chat looks good. We'll go into the next question. I just kind of that last one was a repeat of what we've been doing. I just thought about it in my head. Find the equation in slope intercept form of the line. Sketch the graph. Right. The slope is 0. Okay, this one's straightforward. We could do the same thing that we did before. They give us a slope and all this other stuff. Let me see. If it's a horizontal line, then it's just going to be y equals what, 4, right? So whenever it's a horizontal line, the equation of the line is just going to be the y value. Right? So it's going to be y equals 4. Hit enter, should be, yeah. Okay. Now, if you're not convinced of that, you can kind of repeat what we did before, and you'll get to the same conclusion, right? Let me check the chat just to make sure we're okay. And I'm going to, and then the graph is just going to be a horizontal line through y equals 4. So I'm going to click the line tool. I'm going to go to 4. I'm going to put a point. I'm going to go to the right about just any other point on y equals 4. I'm going to hit save and enter. Okay, hopefully that was okay. Let me see the time. We got about a solid 20 minutes, so we're going to keep moving. Write the equation of the horizontal line through this. So it should just be y equals 3. All right, y equals 3. Let me hit enter. Next question. Given slope, the slope is 0. So if the slope is 0, that means you have a horizontal line. And the y-intercept is 5, so it should just be y equals 5. Okay. On to the next one. Let me check the chat. I think you guys are okay. Okay. The x-intercept is negative 2. Y-intercept is 10. Slope intercept. So we got the y-intercept. Let me see. It crosses the x-axis at negative 2. I'm kind of doing this in my head. I think you can handle this because, like, if you can write out the ordered pairs and then basically repeat what we've been doing. We got our y-intercept, so all we need is the slope. Now, if we're on the y-axis at 10, we go down 10 and what? Left 2? Let me think about that. So here, if I start on the x-axis, if I'm at negative 2 on the x-axis, if I go right 2 and up 10, yeah, it's a positive slope, right? So 10 and 2 is a positive 5. It's positive 5. The slope should be positive 5. I kind of did it in my mind. If you need me to write it out, write an equation. Ooh, almost got that one wrong. Almost hit enter. Write an equation for the line. Okay, so that's the slope, right? So the slope should be 5. So then if we want an equation, it's going to be y equals 5x. And the y-intercept is 10, so we're going to say plus 10. And we can check this, right? So for instance, the x-intercept, when x is negative 2, y should be 0. So negative 10 plus 10 is 0. When x is 0, y should be 10, right? So this satisfies both. I'm going to check this result. If I need to write this out, just let me know. I'll go back and we can write it out. But these are kind of repeats of the same thing, just said in different ways to try to drive the point home. Okay. Equation of the line that is parallel to the given line. Okay, find the equation of the line that contains the given point. Okay, contains this point and is parallel to this. Okay, so if we have y equals negative 4, y equals negative 4 is a horizontal line. So that means our line also needs to be a horizontal line. So that means all we need is y equals negative 2. There's nothing to calculate. All right, that's concepts. Y equals negative 2. Okay, because we're dealing with horizontal lines in this example. Write the slope intercept equation of the function whose graph satisfies the graph passes through this point and is perpendicular. Okay. So if we have x equals 19 is a vertical line, right? We have a vertical line through x equals 19. So if we want our line to be perpendicular, that means our line is going to be a horizontal line. This is still another way of saying horizontal line. So that means you should be able to see the answer at this point, because this has been a repeat. Once you identify it as a horizontal line, then the graph of the line is going to be y equals -7. Okay, hopefully you were able to catch that. Should be it. Okay, let's try another one. See, we didn't have to write anything. These were all concepts. Decide whether the given lines are parallel, perpendicular, or neither. We got a line through this and a line through this. This one I'm going to actually write out. Okay. So this one, I think we need to take some notes. So let me take some notes. Oh, are you frozen? You are. Let me reboot you. Do that. I'm gonna go ahead and finish my attendance for the day. We had a pretty good turnout. I'm proud of you guys. Let me see. I didn't see this one, and they were here before. He may have. I know one person was talking about. Uh-oh. Let me make sure. Let me look at my participants. See who's here. So I didn't realize. Ooh, okay. Okay, they're both here. Oh, okay. Ooh, almost missed somebody. Okay, that was good. So I didn't realize I had 2 people with the same last name. Okay. So we're going to let that be for now. I was able to update that. We had to reboot that. So I'm just trying to take some notes. Went on to close out attendance for today. We are working here. Come on. Looking good. Okay. Hopefully you're not lagging. This is question number 13. I am sitting in some direct sunlight. Oh, my Lanta. I'm going to have to close this blind. 1.2. This comes from section 1.2, question 31. And I'm going to use my shorthand. I'm going to use a symbol for parallel, perpendicular, or neither. And I'm going to put question mark, right? So we have line 1 is through the points. And if you guys are in Atlanta, which I'm under the impression that you are meeting. If you want to explore the city, let me see. Today's the 1st. So the second Sunday of every month is free admission at the High Museum of Art. So that's not this Sunday, but a week from this Sunday is free admission. So that's something to check out. It's free. It's fun to do. I thoroughly enjoy the Beltline. You're not too far from the Beltline if you can make it over there. It's just like an inner city trail. Right now, there's like 11 miles open, but when it's done, it's going to be like a 22-mile loop around the city, but it's going to be an inner city trail. So, if you feel adventurous enough to do that, I would start like at Ponce City Market. That's where I like to start. And then, it essentially does connect over to the West End. You can start in the West End, but you kind of do. I would recommend you be aware of your surroundings. Just be aware of certain areas. Like, not that it's totally okay and there's people out there, but yeah, if you're not familiar with the location, I would start at Ponce City Market and then work my way around. Line 2, I'm just taking some notes. Line 2 is going through the point. We got this 4, -2, but those are some fun things to do. And there's a lot. I mean, this city has a lot of activity. I'm sure you guys are aware. Okay, let's hop over to the tablet and see the notes that I took. I need to close these blinds. This is making me sweat. Get some water and look at the time. We got a solid 10 minutes. Yummy, yum, yum. Okay. So this question asks us, so this, what you see at the top are my shorthands for like parallel, perpendicular, or neither. Okay. So the first line is through those 2 points. So basically we want to compare the slope, right? So whenever we're talking about parallel, perpendicular, or neither, it's really just saying compare and contrast the slopes, right? So all we need to do is find the slope between these 2. So the slope of the first line, that's going to be what, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay. And I'm going to go ahead and label this as x1, y1. I don't like that one. And then x2, come on. Technology is kind of tripping a little bit today. x2 and y2, okay? So if we plug in the corresponding parts, I think I'm actually leave that one as blue the whole way. So y2 is going to be 7, y1 is this -8. Notice my use of parentheses. -2 minus -5, right? So I basically, anytime a component had a negative, I put it in its own set of parentheses so that way we can keep track of our signs. So on top we get a double negative. So 7 plus 8 is 15. On bottom we get -2 plus 5, which is 3. So then that result is 5, right? So that's the slope that we got for line 1. I would like to get this on one line. That's better. Okay. So then for the second one, let's do orange. I'm going to do the same thing, x1, y1, x2, y2. Again, the slope of line 2, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So that's going to be 13 minus a -2 over 1 minus 4, right? Double negative is positive, so that's 15 over -3, which is -5, right? So the first slope we got 5, the second slope we got -5. Are these parallel, perpendicular, or neither? All right, I want you to think about that for a moment. Hopefully you responded, you got the result of, should be neither. Okay. Hopefully you were thinking neither. I kind of hesitated because I wanted to see who may have thought that that was like perpendicular. Perpendicular is negative reciprocal, not just negative. Not only the signs are opposite, but they have to be reciprocal, right? So these are not perpendicular. This is an example of neither. Okay. So let's hop back over to Pearson and submit these results. Let me see the time. Yeah, we got people hanging in there. I see you guys hanging in strong. All right. Like Antoine Fisher is still standing still strong. So we got neither here, right? If we had guessed, we would have a 33% chance of getting it correct, right? If we just randomly guessed. Yeah, but chance favors the prepared mind. Okay. May the odds forever be in your favor. Okay. As I hold up 2 fingers. Hunger Games reference. I don't even know if you guys know Hunger Games or not. I don't know if that's still on your psyche. Rewrite the given equation. Let me see. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, I think the audio is fine. Rewrite the given equation in slope intercept form and then graph, right? So basically solve for y. I think I could just write it. If I subtract y from both sides, I would have a negative y, so I'd have to distribute that negative to both sides. It should be -2x plus 1. Oh, and then y equals, right? If you need to see that written out, I'll write it out. Just let me know. Now, if we're going to graph this, the y-intercept is 1 and the slope is -2. So all we do is just a line. It's the same thing. Y-intercept is 1, so right here. And then if we go down 2, we're here and right 1. That looks good. We use the slope to get that second point. Hit save and I'm going to submit. Okay. Gadget that you should see. Let's hang out for like another 6 minutes. I'll let you go at 9:45. We'll do our best to target 9:45, and that'll give us a little bit of a cushion. And so, like, again, for right now, we're working through homework for section 1.2. This afternoon, I intend to go the lecture for 1.5. You know, if you're subscribed to my YouTube with your notifications on, you should get that notification. Rewrite the given equation in slope intercept form and then graph the line. Slope intercept. So basically solve for y. If we solve for y, we're going to get y equals, what is that, a -12 divided by 6? So that's going to be a -2. All right? subtract the 12 and divide by 6. And then if we get y equals -2, remember when it's just y equals, that's a horizontal line through y equals -2. So I just went to -2 and I put 2 points on that. Right? Notice there's no x value, so no matter what x value you choose, y is always going to be -2 in this case. Okay. On to the next one. Okay. It says an equation of a line through these 2 points with a and b non-zero can be written in the form shown below. This form is called the two-intercept form of the equation of a line. Write this equation in the two-intercept form and read off the x and y intercepts. Let me see. Okay. Okay, yeah. Let's write this one out. This one's interesting. This is a little bit different, all right? It's different. So this is question number 16. All right. This comes from section 1.2, question 43. Okay. So we have this. What is this called? This is the two-intercept form. So I'm going to label this. We're just going to get a copy of this two-intercept form. Right? You don't necessarily need to add this to your formula sheet. I'm just getting a copy of it. We got this x over a plus y over b equals 1. Let me see something. Okay. And so we're asked to write, we got this 7x plus 3y equals 21. We're asked to write it in the two-intercept form and then identify the intercepts. Okay, I'm going to give this a go. I'm going to try to use minimal support. Let's hop over to the tablet. Okay, this is looking okay. So now we have this 7x plus 3y equals 21. First thing I'm going to do is get that constant term to be a 1. So I'm going to divide the entire left by 21 and the entire right by 21. On the right, a number divided by itself goes to 1, which is what I wanted. And then on the left, because we're dividing by a monomial, we can actually rewrite it the following way. We still have this 7x, but now it's going to become 7x over 21. We can distribute because it's a monomial. We got this 3y. It's going to be 3y over 21. And the right-hand side, we already got it to a 1, right? We still don't have the form all the way, so we still need to do like let's do some simplifying. So notice that first term, the 7 and the 21 have a common factor of 7. So we can divide both of those by 7, and we'll finish with x over 3. The second term, we can factor out a 3, and we'll finish with y over 7 equals 1. Okay. I think this means that the x-intercept is 3 and the y-intercept is 7. Let me hop back to Pearson really quickly. I want to look at one other thing. Okay, and it says that the x-intercept takes on the form, additional piece of information. X-intercept is a comma 0, and the y-intercept is 0 comma b. Yeah, so what we said was correct, right? So let's submit what we got, and let's see what happens. So we got x over 3 plus y over 7 equals 1. I'm going to hit enter. Okay. So then the x-intercept should be 3. I'm just going to put 3 and hit enter. Okay. And then the y-intercept is 7. That's kind of fun. That was cool. Oh, right at 2 minutes. Let me see how long I think the next one is going to take. Find the equation of the line that passes. Use this equation to determine whether the 3 points are collinear, right? This is an example of collinear. This won't take that long. I'm going to try to do it in 1 minute. This is going to be a speed run. Let me take some notes. Yeah, I'm not doing attendance. That's because we're about to close out. I can let him in, but attendance is done, so I'm not. That's done. This is question number 17. We got this 1.2.47. If you're just joining, attendance is closed. Like attendance ended at 15 after. We're about to wrap up, like literally right now. Find the equation of a line passes through these points. So we're given 2, 7. That 7 is horrible. 2, 7, 7, 12. And then the third point, 2, 7, 7, 12 is negative 2, 3. So we want to see if these points are collinear, right? Let me hop back to the tablet. And so equation of a line, let's start with the slope, right? So we got this, let's do x1, y1, x2, y2. And the slope, slope between 2 points, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's our slope. Okay, let's go ahead and find the slope here. So that's going to be 12 minus 7, 7 minus 2. What is that? 5 over 5. So the slope is 1, right? So then I'm going to choose one of those points. I'm going to choose the first point. I'm going to use y equals mx plus b, right? So then if we plug in the first point, our y value is 7, the slope is 1, x value is 2, only thing we don't know is b, right? So then b equals 7 minus 2, which is 5. So then the equation of the line, our candidate is going to be x plus 5, right? Let's, I just want to highlight this, okay? So now we just want to verify that these points work or not. So for instance, when x is 2, 2 plus 5 is 7. When x is 7, 7 plus 5 is what, 12? Okay, so it checks out for those two. When x is negative 2, negative 2 plus 5 is 3. That checks out. So all the 3 points collinear. I'm going to say collinear, question mark. And the answer that we got is yes. They all lie on the same line. Okay. Let me submit this result. I'm going to hop back over to Pearson. Looking good. What is the equation of the line? So we got y equals x plus 5. Enter. I hope these are not students from the next class. I hope these are people that just got knocked off. I'm gonna not worry about it. I want to submit this result. Okay. And then are they on the same line? We got a yes because we tested all 3 points and they all worked in this equation. Okay. So a little bit over time by a little about 2 minutes. Let me go ahead and make a copy of the work that you saw me doing. I'm going to make it available. So anything that you see me write for the entire semester, you can find it on our Blackboard page. So I'm going to put this. This is fall of 2021. Man, we are totally in the future. College Algebra, not the Dropbox. Notes, right? Actually, these are answered homework questions. Okay, I'll put it there. Send the box. Okay. Yeah, so I just went on and made a copy available, so you can get a copy of the PDF that you saw me working. I'm actually gonna hop back to the tablet and kind of go like this. Are you gonna hop back? Let's go like this. Okay, and then let me just check the chat really quickly. The chat looks okay. If you guys don't have any burning questions, we can actually end the session here. And from one beautiful mind to another, enjoy the rest of your day. Closing announcements. Exam 1 next week. Yeah, that's the main thing. And just be getting your assignment submitted, link up with the tutors and your classmates, and I'm available if you have questions as well. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy your weekend. I'll see you Monday. Is Monday a holiday? Might be a holiday, maybe. If it's Labor Day, we might not meet. I need to look into that. But yeah. Okay. Okay, guys, take care. Let me see. Oh, it's a few. Okay. I'm gonna quit this. I think they're okay. Stop the stream.